Hi, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. What are you laughing at? Oh, is it fogging up?
I just wiped it off.
Is it fogging?
It's so bad.
You can't really feel it or see it, but it's like super hot and sticky here in Texas. It just gets like that every now and then, but it just feels gross, and I'm wearing pants, and I feel gross. Ugh. This is my shooter, Tyler, by the way. All the B-roll that you see of me, he shoots it. He also shoots it on a Canon 80D. Bet you didn't know that. All right, we're doing an audio test right now, because I'll be using 2 cameras. Okay, how's the audio? Test, 1, 2, 3. Test, 1, 2, 3. I'm not giving away my shot, not giving away. I'm obsessed. So today we're gonna check out a really cool lens from Sony. It is a 12-24 ultra wide angle lens, G Master wide angle lens. And it costs $3,000. So we're gonna find out if it's worth 3,000 bucks. Okay. Oh, dang, there it is. It's a lot wider than I had anticipated. It's really wide. So this is the 16-35 Sony G Master lens. So remember it, I'm holding it at arm's length. So remember this shot. I'm gonna switch over to the Sony 12-24 in 3, 2, 1. Boom! Okay, so now we are on the Sony 12-24 wide angle lens and we're shooting at 12 millimeters. And I'm going to assume it's like super wide. And we're gonna be vlogging most of the time with this lens, but it just looks really intimidating. Like, look how intimidating this looks. Crazy, right?
That's huge.
Oh, by the way, if you live in a place like Texas, like it's so humid that your hair kind of falls down. And so if you see my hair gradually just melt, then that's because of the humidity. Now on Twitter, I asked some of you guys, what do you want me to test out with a 12-24 G Master lens? Got a few requests, but one of them was, is it a good lens to vlog with? And I'm going to assume yes, just because it's such a wide angle field of view. But because it's a wide angle lens, a super wide angle lens, if I go super close, then I'm probably gonna be super distorted. Like my nose is gonna be just, wow. It already is kind of just weird looking, but it'll probably look even worse. I should still be in the frame right now, but I'm like ultra close. I'm like first kiss close to the lens. It's just so weird. But if I pull out like this, then I should look like I'm very far away. And also pay attention to the corners. Like you wanna look out for the distortions. That's like the nature of wide angle lenses, like distortion in the corners. So just watch out for that throughout the video. How is it?
I think we're about ready.
Yeah?
I'll wipe it one more time and we can go.
Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna wipe the lens with his shirt.
No, you're not seeing anything.
That's okay, everyone does it. Do you do that? Let me know in the comments below.
I don't see why it's a bad thing. Honestly.
It's not a bad thing.
Like, it's the same as a cloth, right?
It's exactly the same
My
thing as a
shirt's not
cloth.
dirty.
I guess what we're gonna do is that I'm just gonna do a push-in shot against these railings over here. And I like this because we're gonna see how it distorts the lines. So now I'm right by the railing and I'm just gonna push in, just do a simple push-in shot, but I want you to pay attention to the corners of the frame. Right, here we go, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna do a playback. I kind of want to see what it looks like on camera. I mean, there's distortion, obviously, but there's like a little bit of warping, just not too much. Like it handles it pretty well. But if you take a look at the center, the bottom center of the frame, there's definitely warping going on. But that's expected at 12 millimeters. So let's push it to 24 millimeters and see what we come up with. All right, so now we're looking at the footage shot at 24 millimeters. Okay, so much less distortion going on. Wow, that looks really good. Look at those lines. That's just a cool shot anyway. Oh, that's nice. All right, let's talk about distortion. There was distortion, not gonna lie. Every wide angle lens has distortion in the corners and in the middle if you are too close to a subject or an object. That's just the nature of every single wide angle lens. And in the case of the Sony 12-24 G Master lens, at 12 millimeters, there was distortion, but it was also controlled. If you're shooting at 12 millimeters and you're filming in a space where there's lots of lines, like in this example, I shot in a parking garage, you're gonna notice those lines warp a little bit, especially in the corners. But if you do punch in a little bit, like at 14 millimeters, then you're gonna see much less plus distortion. So if you get this lens and distortion is like your pet peeve, then just punch in just a little bit. But if you are shooting at 12mm, it just adds a whole level of drama to your whole shot. Like when I shot that wide, I was like, whoa, this looks really cool. And so for me, it's more of a stylistic choice. Like if you want to capture more of the frame, but also add a lot of drama to your shot, then definitely shoot at 12mm. And of course, the plus side for shooting at 12mm is that you are capturing more of the shot in your camera. This is going to be great for people that shoot things like landscapes, architecture, astrophotography, real estate, basically any creative project that kind of requires you to capture as wide of a shot as you can.
All right, so now I'm vlogging at 12mm, a super wide focal length with the Sony 12-24 G Master lens. And it's kind of a heavy lens, I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot heavier than I thought. Okay, so now we're gonna do a playback of the vlog test. I'm looking at the 12mm footage. It looks good. Like my arm looks kind of big, but you know, that's what happens with a super wide angle lens, but it's not like overly distracting. Actually, that's a really cool focal length for vlogs. So now we're gonna shoot at 24mm. I'm gonna extend my arm as far as I can. It's such a heavy lens. All right, and we're just gonna be walking and talking. Here we go. All right, this is gonna be a vlog test of the Sony 12-24, shot at 24mm, and my arm is kind of shaking because it's such a heavy lens. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at the footage shot at 24mm. Shut up! All right, so I'm looking at the footage shot at 24, and it's still fairly wide. Like, it's not the widest, but I would totally use that focal length for vlogs. So it looks like you can vlog with either focal length, like 12 obviously is gonna be the best. 24, it's gonna be maybe a little tight, but I still think it's good enough to vlog with. And then of course, any focal length in between. And so yeah, I think the 12-24 G Master lens is a really good vlog lens.
Autofocus performance was pretty spot on. It should be for a $3,000 lens. I shot this lens with the Sony a7 III, and for my autofocus settings, I just use responsive and normal. I forgot which one is which. Is it the autofocus drive or the autofocus speed? Autofocus speed is normal, and autofocus drive was set to responsive. Yeah, I think that's right. And with those settings, I was able to get some really fast and really accurate autofocus performance when shooting in 24 frames per second. In slow motion, it was just as good. Overall, autofocus performance, spot on.
Oh my gosh, if I do this, it just makes me feel like I'm flying. I'm flying, Jack. I'm flying.
Now, even though that there's distortion at 12mm, like that can be fixed in post, like very easily when it comes to photos. Because sometimes as a professional, when you're on assignment and you need to capture a building or you need to capture the Milky Way in Greenland, sometimes you're gonna need the widest focal length possible. Yes, that might come with a bit of compromise when it comes to distortion, but if you have the knowledge to fix that in post, then it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. For me personally, I would much rather have a lens that allows me to capture as wide of a shot as I can, knowing that the end product is gonna be totally fine because I have the knowledge to fix it in post, whether it's photos or video. And when you're shooting at 12mm, like, you are capturing everything. As far as image quality goes, it is top notch. Like I pixel peeped at some of the photos and it just looked tacked sharp. Like it wasn't just sharp in the center, it was pretty sharp all around the composition. I didn't really see any chromatic aberration even after pixel peeping, and the color rendition of the lens just looked amazing, and it should, especially for a $3,000 lens.
All right, so we're gonna walk back to the car because I wanna do a comparison of the 12-24 G Master lens, the Sigma 14-24 art lens, and then also the Sony 16-35 G Master lens. All right, so now this is the Sigma 14-24 wide angle art lens. Here we go. It's definitely a lighter lens, at least it feels lighter. All right, and last but not least, we have the Sony 16-35 G Master lens. Here we go. I'm so sweaty now, but I'm not giving away my shot. So overall, it's a really good build. It's exactly what you'd expect from a G Master lens. There's an autofocus manual focus switch. There is a function button on the side of the lens, which you can assign whatever function to. There's a lot more friction on the zoom ring. It's definitely not as smooth as the Sigma 12-24, or even as smooth as the 16-35 G Master lens, but the focus ring is really smooth. And just because it's a super wide angle lens, you have this bulbous front in front of the lens, and so you can't really attach an ND filter in front. You have to use the rear filter mount in the back. And so you can get those for about like $100, $150 off Amazon or B&H. And so if you want to control your exposure, you're gonna have to mount some sort of ND filter on the back of the lens. So that is a Sony 12-24 G Master lens. What do you guys think? Do you think it's worth the $3,000 price tag? But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But I'm out of here. I'm like sweating like crazy. My hair is just, it feels like I'm taking a shower. So I'm out of here. Much love. I'll see you in the next video. See ya.